Hello and welcome to our Science of Learning podcast brought to you by the DBE-E3. I'm your host, Moeketsi Nchoba, and today we are doing the second part of our series on entrepreneurship. In part one, we had a pleasure of chatting with Ms. Rufaro Modimo, the CEO of Enke, who developed a strategy and a catalyst program to innovate youth in their community. In part two, I will be speaking with Kamala Pillay, the CEO of Citizen Leader Lab, which offers a variety of programs and workshops that work towards social cohesion and social change in South Africa. One of their programs, Partners for Possibility, approaches school as a unit of change and collaborates with private sector business leaders who team up with school principals to support capacity building. Kamala, thank you for joining me.
Hi, Moeketsi. Lovely to be here with you today.
Thank you. I gave a brief overview of Citizen Lab, but in more comprehensive manner, can you tell me more about your organization?
Yes, absolutely. So Citizen Leader Lab, we are first and foremost a leadership development organization. We believe that a better future is possible for all South African citizens through competent, conscious, and ethical leadership at all levels of our society. So in this respect, our work directly aligns with the SA National Development Plan, the NDP, which recognizes leadership as a key enabler for success. So our focus over the past 13 years has been on supporting public school principals, particularly those serving under-resourced communities in our country. And I don't know if you're aware of this, Moeketsi, but these individuals, our public school principals, have one of the most challenging leadership roles in our country. And they're also a crucial lever to create a school environment that supports quality teaching and learning.
I'm aware, and in my visits, I do see the challenges that they have to deal with. How do your innovative leadership development models help leaders catalyze positive change in their communities and broader society?
Yeah, no, perfect. I'm glad you're aware, Moeketsi, because this is something that one of the things that we want to bring to people's attention. The reality is that leaders drive change. It's that simple. So leaders who have a strong vision and a unifying message can inspire others to support the change. And the reality is that leadership, like any skill, it comes more easily to some than to others. And like any skill, it needs to be trained and developed to reach its full potential. So that's what our role is, to provide these leadership development models that can support leaders. So there are many leadership development approaches out there, a lot of good ones. We like to think that we are one of the better ones. And we think this because we have tapped into some of the latest leadership learnings, both globally and locally, to develop our programs.
Can you explain how cross-sectoral collaboration strengthens connections and partnership across boundaries while creating opportunities for active citizenship?
Yeah, Moeketsi, so that is something that's quite unique about our leadership development program. So we're not just looking at the development of, say, for example, the school principal in terms of their leadership capabilities, but we also, and this is specifically in Partners for Possibility, we also do leadership support. And we do this by partnering a school principal with a business leader. Now, as you well know, education is critical for the success of business, and business knows this. So many of our colleagues in the business environment, they're really looking for a way to make a positive contribution to our education system, but they often don't know how. So what we do is we partner a school principal and a business leader. And what happens out of that partnership is firstly, much better understanding. So much better understanding by the business leader of the true challenges within the school system and the true needs of the school. And they also then have this opportunity to share with the school principal their knowledge, their skills, their networks, to support the principal in his primary role of creating an environment for quality teaching and learning. So that's the cross-sectoral collaboration that's quite unique with our work and which is quite powerful. As we as South Africans come together and understand each other and form partnerships that allows us to share our knowledge and our skills with each other, that's how we can get our country to be more successful.
And why is education an important focus area for Citizen Leader Lab? And how does your flagship program, Partners for Possibility, provide leadership development and support to these under-resourced school principals?
I could probably go on for about an hour and how we work, Mkhize. But I think just very simply, we all understand education is the backbone of any successful society. Success in our schools means success in our businesses, success in our health system, success in our municipalities. So success for everyone in the country. This is well understood. So this is why we've chosen to focus in education. We are interested in supporting other areas, but our focus right now is education. The program that we have, Partners for Possibility, has been designed and refined and tested in schools for over 13 years. And we know through our internal evaluations and external evaluations that it is a model that truly works. It empowers leaders. It provides them with the skills and tools they need to drive change in their environments.
My next question is, how do we support school principals to become successful change agents who can transform their schools into effective environments for quality teaching and learning?
Yeah, so again, I can probably talk for about an hour on exactly how we do this, Mkhize, but just to give you just a taste of what we do, the first thing is you have to empower people. You have to help people see what gifts and talents and what contribution they have to offer. And then you have to help people see possibility. It is unfortunately the case for many of our leaders. They've been at this for 20 years and they're a bit burnt out. It's very easy to be burnt out in our public school system. They've lost some hope. They need to see the situation with fresh eyes. And so when we bring a business leader in, and the business leader has several roles, but one of the things they bring, Mkhize, is they bring enthusiasm and a belief that change is possible. And you might well know that when somebody comes with that enthusiasm and energy, it's infectious. So this part of our program, there's a lot of other parts of our programs, but that's one of the unique parts of the program. We also teach basic leadership skills, basic but fundamental leadership skills, how to listen well, how to listen to encourage others, how to delegate, how to be less autocratic and more collaborative. These are just some of the skills that we share with the people who are on our program.
So can you explain how you approach the school as a unit of change and collaborate with private sector business leaders to support capacity building and the desired change pathway in targeted schools?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different views on what is the ideal unit of change in the education system. There are views that feel that the change needs to happen at national level with policies and with the key role players like the unions and the education department. People feel it needs to happen at provincial level, others at district level, and still others at school level. And I think everyone is right. There's a bit of wisdom and truth in everyone. Our specific approach is to look at the school. We've chosen the school as a unit of change because the school principal actually has quite a lot of influence around what happens at the school, the culture of the school, the experience of teachers, learners, and parents at the school. That school principal as a leader has that influence. And, you're touching probably on average, probably about 1,000 learners. Many of our schools go up to 2,000 learners, even more. We have smaller schools with 500 learners. But working with a school has quite a wide reach. So you will impact 1,000 learners. You'll impact their families, their communities. You'll impact the teachers, all the teachers in the school. So this is why we choose the school principal as a unit of change and the school as a unit of change. And our pathway is we work with the school principal and we share these leadership development skills with them and tools. And they then implement it to impact first the school management team, which is a key management team in the school, then the teachers, then the learners, and then the parents. So it's kind of like a ripple effect. It cascades outwards. And the result, and I'll talk a bit more about what we've seen, the result is that you're changing the whole ecosystem surrounding the school and the ecosystem that supports the learners.
Oh, nice. And lastly, what impact has your leadership development and support had on under-resourced schools and their communities?
Yeah. Again, I can talk for hours on this, Moketsi, but just to summarize, our principals leave the program with more energy, a stronger sense of possibility, and with real skills, leadership skills and tools that they are implementing. It's part of our program where it's not just you go into a classroom and then you leave the classroom and that's the end of it. They have to implement these skills and practice these skills during the program. So they emerge with with the higher levels of confidence, improved delegation skills, and much better listening skills. And these are the fundamentals of leadership. And these are the fundamentals to unlock the talents and gifts of the people around you. You have to be able to listen to people. You have to be able to trust people to do work. You have to let go of some work and be open to the possibility of failure. This is all very difficult things for us as leaders. We feel that failure is like is something to avoid at all costs, but actually failure is how you learn. And as long as you're not repeating the same mistake and making the same failures, then you are learning, you are growing. So we get this feedback very strongly from our participants that they feel empowered with these new skills. We also see in the schools that we work with, the school management teams become more cohesive. They work better together. We see in the schools that we work with that the teacher body, their energy levels and their motivation to be at school improves. And this, of course, ripples down to the learners, because if they are coming to a school where the teachers want to be there and are interested in teaching and interested in the learners, of course, the learners are going to benefit. And the last thing about our program that we're really proud of, Moketsi, is the skills that we impart to the principals, they used to bring the parents more closely into the school. Parents have a critical role to play in their children's learning. It's often a role that they don't understand. They don't quite know what they should be doing to support their children. They themselves might not have completed a school. They themselves might not have literacy skills and numeracy skills, but every single parent has a critical role to play in supporting their child. And the skills that we teach our principals allow them to bring parents closer. So in most of our schools, we see much greater parental engagement and much greater community involvement in the schools.
I fully agree with your sentiments in terms of the participation of parents. And thank you very much for your insights and unpacking the successes and challenges that we face and experience in our schools, and also for providing leadership that builds a better future for all. That's the end of our two-part series on school-focused entrepreneurship. If you have not listened to part 1, please go to LinkedIn page and search for eCube DBE. Thank you very much.